For me, the bel canto is the most expressive of all vocal music. Even though the vocal line is often demanding and quite complicated, it somehow manages to get to the very core of human emotions. Ironically, it's this very restrictiveness which gives me a sense of freedom, and this allows me to put more of myself into each role.
Premo. La testa dura.
I find it fascinating, and that's why I think bel canto music can be the most sublime of all musics, and it can also be the most deadly boring, depending on whose hands it's in. And when you put bel canto in the hands of someone like Maria Callas, it's, you know, there's nothing better.
Now, looking back, I realize that I didn't have very much of a childhood. But I'm having it now in little bits and pieces. My mother always wanted her children to do something slightly cultural. I made my stage debut at the age of 2.5, singing and doing a tap dance. Every day after school, I had some kind of lesson. Ballet, tap, acrobatic, even baton twirling. And when I was 11, I started voice lessons, which I didn't like very much. I really didn't like singing.
The lady who was my voice teacher was somebody who was she was a very nice woman, was very important in my life, and she gave me the love that I have for Italian music. And she knew me well enough not to force me to sing. She led me to the water but didn't make me drink. She just showed me everything that was possible, introduced me to the music, and let me choose. She knew all along what I was going to do with my life. I didn't.
For my 16th birthday, my voice teacher gave me a score of Lucie de Lammermoor, and I went home and started learning it immediately. I'm not a very good pianist because I haven't really had lessons, but I love sight-reading music, and I was always collecting scores and just sitting down and playing them.
La prima battuta poi è...
Allargava molto,
sì,
sì, certo.
seconda a
certo.
tempo, terzo...
Sì, adesso facciamo... fammi il sol, fa, mi, le ultime tre battute. Non più veloce, bene, benissimo.
Ah sì, si sente meglio più tardi.
E canta per te.
Grazie Sandra, grazie.
Amore, amore, amore.
Performing Lucia at Covent Garden for the first time was a very important moment in my life. I realized that I was doing Lucia for the 53rd or 54th time. And when I think of the first time that I did it and how much it's changed since then, I think it's for the better. Actually, it's only after a few performances that I can begin to stop worrying about purely musical and technical problems. Then I'm finally free to become the character. And then when I feel as if I'm speaking the words rather than singing them, then I know that I'm really in the process of finding a valid interpretation.
C'è cambiato dall'ultima volta, perché tira,
No, faccio sempre così. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sembra più logica.
Va bene.
Thank you. I'll see you. I guess we do it on Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow.
Thursday morning, yes.
Love man sees the morning.
Around 11 o'clock.
It was 1974, 75. I was, 22. I didn't really know what to do. I was thinking of going to law school, but I wasn't sure. A friend convinced me to go to New York and try singing. because if I didn't, then I probably would have regrets later on in life. So I did it, and after being in New York for 9 months, I'd auditioned for everybody. Nobody wanted me. I couldn't get any jobs. I had $50. I couldn't pay my rent. And that was when I decided that I was going to be a singer if it killed me. And sometimes I think it has.
I see, so, oh, I see, we stop at 40.
Yes.
Oh, I
Qui
understand.
disposa i te,
No, no, quella è la prima volta.
Sì, hai fatto la
Qui di sposa eterna
Sì,
fede.
io ho
ci
fatto il
ascolto.
contrario.
Sì.
Sì.
Ne facciamo da...
Qui di sposa eterna fede, qui mi giura il cielo innanche. Dio ci ascolta, Dio ci vede, tempi e mare un cuore amante. Al tuo fato unisca il mio, son tuo sposo, e tu sei oh, soltanto il nostro fuoco spegnerà di morte il gel. A miei voti fuoca il cielo, il ciel fuoca il ciel. A miei voti fuoca il ciel, il ciel,
It was in 1974 that I met Robert Leonard, who's been my teacher ever since. But in the beginning, I didn't trust him very much. He didn't look serious. He had a scraggly beard, and he looked too young to know a lot, and so I was very cautious. But after one lesson, I was singing a little better. So little by little, my trust in him grew, and now if he told me to sing Brunhilde, I'd say, well, Robert's right. But he would never do it, don't worry. I really do have a passion for knowing the lives of all the different sopranos that created and sang my roles. My roles, they're their roles. This is my most recent acquisition, and as yet unframed. That's going to be a real job. It's a scene of Desdemona and Othello appealing to the Doge. All these things inspire me.
Desdemona was a favorite role of most of the sopranos of the early 19th century. Giuditta Pasta and Giulia Grisi sang it very often. But for the public of this time period, it was Maria Malibran who was most identified with this role.
Rossini's Otello was created in Naples by Isabella Colbran, who later became his wife. By looking at what he wrote for this very individual singer, one can almost hear what she sounded like, something that I find fascinating, because unfortunately there weren't any pirate tapes back then.
Si deve arrivare domani dicendo che vuoi cantare oggi Otello e non loro due.
I must say that I prefer rehearsing to performing because I find I learn so much more in rehearsals. I can continue to search, to find colors, to find movements which can help me portray the character better.
Guarda lei, Lucie. Because you were dying in
Or maybe not this at all.
Yeah, in 12 minutes. Yes, right.
Oddio, questo non si può.
Lo tagliamo di più, ecco.
O facciamo così. Ma,
No, no,
ma
tagliamo di più.
No, ok, io...
I very much enjoyed working with Jean-Pierre Ponel because in addition to being a stage director, he's a very fine musician. The Otello that we did together was not received well everywhere, but I liked it very much, and it was, I consider it to have been a very good experience for me. I think I grew a lot trying to make Desdemona come alive.
Vai. Così. No. Can I see the knees? Take the shoes off.
Start with the duet.
Okay.
very graceful.
No, that's okay. Don't worry
The thing
about
is, it's so
routine.
big. Any movement is going to take away from the scene. Doesn't have grace.
Alla che una, prendi di copiare! La che va insieme!
Yeah, it has to be, you know, and hop, strong and long. Right. Quick.
Let
Quick.
go of me totally and I fall myself.
Yeah.
Good.
But I think it's better.
Yes, it's better.
And
But you
anyway,
told me before not to fight it.
Yeah, it's not a fight, what you say.
Yes.
Yes, it's not
Okay.
a fight against
But just
him.
react to what he's
It's
doing.
It's
Okay.
a normal nature, I think. I don't know, I'm not
Okay.
experienced.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
but-
me
yeah,
neither.
Yeah, okay, good, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, the mail, huh? Okay. Right.
No, mi hai dato dove? La nuova rivista della Repubblica.
hai ragione, sì.
Sei cattivo.
Chi devo chiamare?
Cristiano.
Cristiano? Mi apre il camerino?
No. Cristiano.
Incomincia la recita alle 7:30.
Ah. Boh, arrivo subito.
Non ti vede? Avanti,
E poi ritorno alle Venezia.
Ma sono una diva.
Sì, certo. Sarà un trionfo, vedremo.
Come te?
Quanto nervoso.
Tutte le gambe. Dai. Questa palla nella dai. Perché stiamo cantando in camerino? Dai. Voi no, dice pure. Guarda, ecco.
At all my performances, I used to bring a big bag of all my favorite good luck charms, mostly cats, and I'd touch every one of them before I went on stage. Usually I know 2 or 3 years in advance that I'm going to be doing a role for the first time. And so I'll usually start right away going through the score, going first through the arias and then the duets, then the trios, then the quartets. It's very good to work on it bit by bit and with a lot of time, because every time I start working on it again, I can work with new eyes and new ears. Then as it gets closer and closer to the time, all the finishing work obviously goes on in the last couple of months. But after I made all my decisions about how I feel dramatically about the character and how I want to do something musically, if there is a recording available and done by someone who I respect, like Maria Callas, for example, then I will listen to it. I don't want to tempt myself to be too influenced by someone else, even if that someone else is Maria Callas, because I think the only way to really try and be an artist is to find your own road.
Scrivo segnale 15 minuti di tempo, Conico, per favore, le chiavi.
Before I went to La Scala for the first time, I heard a lot about evil spirits haunting this theater. But if the great singers are still here, wandering around the corridors, I think they're only here to help us and encourage us.
Sometimes I think I'd like to stop traveling, but then when I find myself in one place for more than a few weeks, I usually want to leave again. So I don't have any place where I live right now. I don't even know where I want to live. I'm very much of a gypsy. Until I find some roots, I may as well just keep traveling until I decide where I want to go. And at least the traveling is giving me an opportunity to get to know a lot of cities, a lot of places.
A tempo. Ci parlerei con toi. Et toi pour moi?
Oui. Tu parleras pour moi. Tu parleras pour moi. Pour lui. Tu parleras pour moi. Tu parleras pour moi. Tu le dois. Tu le dois. Tu le dois. Il me faut ta promesse. Je ne sais pas, il ne sait pas, il ne sait pas. Est-ce qu'il a une promesse? Est-ce qu'il a un amour? Il ne sait pas, il ne sait pas. Tu parleras pour lui. Tu parleras pour moi. Tu le dois, mon ami. Mais vous ne savez pas. Tu parleras. Tous les trois, il y a des îles, mes amis, les voleurs, des fraises. Tous les trois, réunis, quel plaisir, quel bonheur, quelle ivresse, deux instants de tendresse. Tous les trois, réunis, quel plaisir, quel bonheur, quel plaisir, quel bonheur, nous voilà réunis, quel plaisir, nous voilà réunis, voilà réunis, nous voilà réunis. Quel bonheur, quel bonheur. D'où sont la nuit, autant de terre. Vous avez joui, il me viendra. Je n'y crois guère, il me viendra. Je n'y crois guère. Tous les trois réunis, quel plaisir, mes amis, quel bonheur, quelle ivresse. Tous les trois, réunis, quel plaisir, quel bonheur, quel plaisir, quel bonheur. Oh, voilà, réunis, quel plaisir, voilà, réunis, voilà, réunis. Ça ne marche pas. On ne peut pas faire une course pour aller jusque-là, pour faire le tour. C'est pas possible, ça. Vous voyez qu'on ne peut pas faire comme ça pendant qu'on chante. C'est pas possible. Faut changer ça. Qui a fait ça?
Ah, on l'a fait jusqu'à présent, jusqu'à hier, on l'a fait.
Non, pas nous, tous les trois. Réunis, quel plaisir, mes amis, quel bonheur, quelle ivresse. Tous les trois, réunis, quel plaisir, quel bonheur, quel plaisir, quel bonheur, quel bonheur. Nous voilà réunis, quel plaisir, nous voilà réunis, nous voilà réunis, nous voilà réunis. Quel bonheur, quel bonheur, quel bonheur. Tu parleras pour moi, pour moi, tu parleras pour moi, comme le laveur. Tu le dois, il me faut ta promesse.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous prenons place, s'il vous plaît, pour le premier acte. Nous commençons dans 5 minutes.
Bonjour. Jolie. Je le vois si bien.
You can never judge your merits by the reactions of either the public or the critics. It's very important to have a strong sense of who you are and what you're doing. Sometimes I feel that I haven't deserved ovations that I receive. And every now and then I think, I was better than that. When I was a little girl, I liked to read, and I spent a lot of time on the neighborhood swings. Even today, when I feel the need to escape, I look for a swing. Even though I may have my moments of craziness, I'm basically quite level-headed and pragmatic. And in a crisis, almost always I'm the most calm person around.
I'm very strong, very disciplined, and if I wanted to have a family life and a career, it's something that would not be impossible at all. Right now, there's not that question. I'm going to have a dog, and I'm going to take my dog with me, and if that works, then maybe I can have a child and take a child, because I thought it was better to try first with a dog.
Unfortunately, the human voice isn't like a violin that you can take out and put away in its case. Singing is an athletic activity, and you have to take care of the whole body and not just the throat. Of course, there are limitations on your lifestyle, but I don't see these as sacrifices. Being a singer, for me, it's a way of life. And if a voice is well taken care of with a good technique, it can age like a good wine with the passing of time. That is, up to a certain point. Nothing lasts forever.
Okay.
Same place, Valton?
Yes.
Okay.
Same place.
Valton, s'il vous plaît.
Viens, viens.
Ouais.
Déjà tout donne the music. Let's start right from there. On reprend, merci. Okay. Lentement, lentement, lentement. Elle devant. Vas-y, allez-y. Elle devant, devant, parce qu'on ne l'entend pas sinon. Elle devant, comme ça. Parce que c'est comme ça, on ne la voit pas. Oui, on ne la voit pas. Le public doit la voir. Ici.
Dio che ascolta deciso il suo fato e sei perduta o sventolata
Derrière elle, derrière elle. look up, then. Attendez. Dès que vous le voyez maintenant, dès que vous le voyez. Maintenant, pac.
That I'm most happy with is Elvira in the Puritani, because I think it was the best work I've done on stage dramatically. And because for me it's so important that I be an actress as well as a singer, Puritani stands out above all the rest because of the work that I did with Andrei Sherban. We worked together on the role. Even though it was not a new production conceived for me, and even though I went in with very different ideas than he had, and he wanted me to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do, by working together and collaborating, we came up with something which I think is special. And that's the way I want to work in the future with all directors.
Good. The shoes, no?
I didn't like that, unless you can explain it in another way.
It's just like it's kind of crazy that she's just like you know like taking off all those wedding things that are the wedding shoes.
I know, but you sort of don't think of your feet. Opera is drama, it's theater. It's not just singing, and an opera has to be treated as if it were a play. There are the words. There are less words than in a play, but there are the words. And you have the music, which in most cases helps the drama rather than hinders it.
I have no desire to be a stage director, but at the same time, I don't see myself as a puppet or a marionette either. And if an opera's done and it's not theater, then there's no point in doing it. I'd rather do concerts in that case. But I'm a stage animal.
Several of my favorite heroines are crazy ladies, and I think doing as many Lucias and Elviras and Puritani as I've done has kept me out of the psychiatrist office, because it gives me a chance to explore all sides of madness. Elvira, she has an unusual madness. It's almost that she is a manic depressive, because she has moments of incredible happiness. She's happier than anybody has ever been. And then a few minutes later, she is more depressed and more sad than anyone has ever been.
Elvira and the other bel canto heroines, the beautiful melodies, the variations, and the high notes are not an end in themselves. What these characters really want is to make us hear the sounds of the soul.